Alright guys, I've been told that we are just about to jump back into the game, so with that being said, let's do this.
G2A.com, the best video game store ever! Fast as lightning, solid as a rock, cheap as duck! What's more, you can sell on it because it's also a marketplace. Remember G2A.com, the best video game store ever!
Alright, ladies and gents, welcome back here to our live coverage at Counterpit. It is the best of three between Orgless and Epsilon. I met this, I'll be solo casting and streaming for you this evening in both these best of threes. And if you just missed the first map, you missed an absolute cracker of a game. It was fantastic. Orgless, 15-7 up, ended up losing it in overtime. One of the best comebacks I have casted in a very long time, maybe ever. And here we move through onto the picturesque village of Inferno. Knife round, of course, to select sides. For those of you that don't play too much CS, it's definitely CT-sided. You want to win this knife, you want to be electing yourself CT. And you're expecting to pick up a bunch of rounds over on the CT side. Looks to be going the way of Orgless. They're going to take down the knife, and I expect them to go CT side. This is also Orgless's / CSGO 1. If you're curious as to why I sometimes put that in, they did just get picked off from CSGO 1, but of course at the top it says Orgless, so to save confusion, I'll probably call them Orgless the majority of the time. But Inferno was the pick of Orgless. Epsilon chose Train for themselves. And we currently reside at a 1-0 scoreline, as you can see at the top right of your screen right now. Who won knife? That was Orgless. So for those of you at the start of this, when I was asking for your predictions on how you felt this game was going to go, do we have any people that are changing their mind now after that first map score? I saw a lot of 2-0s for Orgless. There's going to be a lot of disappointed people out there. So, let's see how the teams are going to be setting up here for this third pistol round of the best of three. It seems to be a Molotov and the smoke for soccer. That's interesting. So Molotov is going up onto B side. Now, this is somewhat surprising to me. Now Terry's going to be charging through this, so really just trying to catch The CT's unaware, I suppose, in the sense it went for a 1v1 trade. Job very much done. The bomb was going to get planted as well. Epsilon charging on through. Arky lands the jumping shot there. And now Nate is going to try and retake the site with his comrades in arms. One of which is Dead Fox going through Ruin side. Spots the head, converts that into the frag. He's looking for another one. As the taps are left, right, and centre. Arky will be disappointed he didn't bag that frag more convincingly. But now Knee is down to 2 HP. And he should be falling away. But the bomb's been defused in the meatball with a defuse kit. What is going on? Flash smoked the site and was defusing. And I assumed that he had to come off that because Ney was getting wrecked from the back boxes. But he just held on to it. This man has balls of steel. How does he even move around the map? Got like a chain and balls around there. Screw a knife, he just smacks people with his massive schlong. Jesus. How demoralising must that be for Epsilon right now? Everything went your way. You threw the molly down, you charged through there, you got the frags, you got the plant, you had the player advantage. A player just drops, it's a 3-on-1, bomb's been defused. Well, I'm mind blown, ladies and gents. If you hadn't noticed, I am absolutely mind blown. Epsilon have gone for some assault rifles in this round. As obviously in the last one they managed to survive with 3 players. So this is a pretty unorthodox round, all things considered. It's not often you see this many weapons in play in the second round of a map. But the bomb has been planted once more, and Flash is still alive, and wherever Flash is alive, you never quite know what to expect. The frags are coming back and forth. Donkey behind the car gets the drop onto Ney, and he's not in a bad position here to fend off the site. He goes to the pink, lands a second shot, but there is Flash. He is the Achilles heel of Epsilon, and will get his second consecutive defuse, although this time not quite as special as the first one. But still, a round is a round. Epsilon with 2 consecutive bomb plants are going to go for AKs again. There's so many twists and turns in this best of 3 already. Who knows what's going to happen next? Couple Tech 9s. This is still a really healthy buy-up for round number 3. And of course, something else that would have baited them into this buy, not just the fact that they had the funds to do it, but also this could completely crack the economy of Orgless before it gets building. So if Epsilon win this round, you're expecting them to then take the next one to be 2-2, maybe even 3-2 in the lead. Of course, though, Orgless do have the advantage when it comes to weaponry right now. They still have grenades to play with. They have defuse kits as well. Arky's down to 9. Some serious damage has been inflicted. 2 players over on the B side still from Orgless, not going for the over-rotation, not getting a player to float through on the speedway. And this is very reminiscent of how Epsilon attempted to play train T-side as well. Just waiting for Orgless to go for those peaks. The thing is with Inferno, there's a lot more passive defensive places that you can sit. Like A in particular, you really have to get a lot of real estate before you can push on there from a T perspective. So I feel like if Epsilon keep doing this very slow, steady approach, this could actually go in favour of Orgless pretty convincingly. The spray is down, and 30 bullets of doom and misery are inflicted on Epsilon. 2 frags there in quick succession. Just smokes and flashes. Enough to choke on as far as Epsilon are concerned, and they still haven't got through onto the site. Graveyard, living up to its name as Flash puts Alex 6 foot under. Nate is there as well. And now it's all on Donkey once more for Epsilon. And he can't do anything. I suppose the saving grace for Epsilon is he dies before time, so he doesn't get crippled in terms of economy. But still, that's a round that they were hoping to secure themselves. For very obvious reasons. The score is at the top right corner, guys. Right up there for you. It is 1-0 to Epsilon. Now, the fact that Epsilon have had a couple bomb plants here allows them to get some upgraded pistols and still have a healthy buy-up next round. One of which was a Deagle, but Maeve is there with the M4 just to put down the hurt onto Epsilon. They don't really get anything done. They were hoping for that one tap. The Deagle was picked up. Donkey lands the headshot with the Tech 9. This is going to force Dead Fox to come through now from Archer's side of A. And with that frag landing on Soccer, now that just puts everything on Donkey's shoulders. Again in another one versus X. This time it's 4. The last 2 times it was 3. And he's brought it back to a 1v3. What a 1D that was. He's hungry for more as well. And remember, you know, even though Orgless are 3-0 to the good, if they start losing a bunch of weapons, that's still going to hurt them in the long haul. So, like, dying with 3 is fine. If Donkey was able to get another couple frags, though, that would definitely have hurt Orgless' economy. Orp has been picked up from Dead Fox. Let's have a look what his spawn is like. It's a very good spawn. One of the best you can get for mid. So I expect that he's going to have a quick peek here. He could even get a frag as well if someone's just laxing behind. Oh, he did spot the player, but a good jump across there from the tees. Keeps them alive and kicking. That being said, Arky could be walking straight in. Dead Fox. Slightly too fast to pull the trigger. Or too slow, I should say, actually. Player jumps across and then he just rings out with it. Still though, he knows a player's banana, he knows one's pushing mid. This is just a standard attack from the terrorist. Doesn't really give any biting information to Orgless. That poke out from Soccer, the whole point in that, it doesn't look particularly intelligent, but the idea is to catch the CTs off guard. As soon as the smoke comes down, you're not expecting a player to push with that. You can see that Taboo was in the perfect position, reacted accordingly. The idea there is to just throw a spanner in the works from Epsilon's perspective. Orgless. Get caught in transition. Arky with the double with his AK. And again it goes from a 5v3 to a 3-on-3. Make that a 3-on-2. Arky's picked up 3 frags. We saw this from him on the T side. Definitely a huge part of their comeback. He was just getting entries all over the place. He's done it again here. 1 mid, 1 archers, 1 pit. Dude is on form again. Maeve coming through onto quad side. It's a pincer movement from the CTs. Taboo's got a lot of real estate. He picks up the frag. He's going to be scratching his head, wondering what the hell his team's doing. And now suddenly it's on M1. He's in the perfect position for this plant. There's the 1 and the 2. Beautiful spray transfer from Maeve to Taboo's forehead. Too close for comfort, though, from Epsilon. Orgless will concede their first round, and I don't know, man. I'm not completely sold on this buy. I feel like Orgless could have just bit the bullet there and got a really solid buy at next round, because this effectively puts it in a 2-for-1 round. Maybe even a 1-for-3, or a 3-for-1 I should say, for Epsilon. If Orgless lose this, they're in dire straits. Epsilon could come right back and take this to even. Because you can see it's just a P250 on Maeve. A Mag 7, still pretty solid in apps, which is where Nay currently is. A FAMAS and 2 M4s. No defuse kits though, again. So I'm not 100% on this buy. I feel like this really could come back to haunt Orgless. But of course, if they land the shots, it simply doesn't matter. Nay, just lurking. Lands the headshot onto Donkey. He could potentially transition across to the AK. He gets caught. Dead Fox peeks and sprays down 2 players through smoke. He only saw the tracer fire from one of those, so they lined up for him. He got a bargain bucket of frags. Buy one, get one free. And just like that, the round has turned upside down for Epsilon. Alex spots himself a player in pit. That is Flash is going to eat a Molotov for his troubles, but the M4 sprays on point. And there's a second as well. Phenomenal haul from Orgless. All started with Nate. Finishes with Flash's double. Of course, been the man of the moment with that ridiculous ninja defuse. Press escape. Ah, thank you. I just realised I had the health bar problem. Thanks a lot, guys, for letting me know. Appreciate the help. Epsilon, who were so close to breaking the economy of Orgless and just getting so many rounds on the board, suddenly now back into 4-spy. With Tech 9s, a couple P250s, a Deagle, Kevlar, smokes. They do have a molly and a few flashbangs as well. And now I can see people coming back. Probably AFKing, feeling like Orgless had that first map and like, hold on a second, they lost that first map? How is that even possible? Beats me, dude. I have no idea. I watched it and I still have no clue. Maeve, on coils. Can hear that plant going down. And like a coiled viper ready to strike, he delivers the fatal blow. And not just one, but two players. The bomb is not going to get planted. That's going to be curtains for Epsilon. They do get another frag. He's going to be able to get that weapon as well. But Soccer can't do much from that situation. Orgless move towards that 6-1 scoreline. And after Epsilon went for that force/half-buy, I suppose you could say, it's now Eco again. They wanted that bomb planted to just build up the economy, but it didn't come in. Pause called. I'm assuming this is a technical timeout rather than a tactical one. Momentum's in their way. Taboo hasn't bought anything, so I assume this is an issue on Taboo's end. Yeah, 6k. He could very well buy an AWP and drop it for one of his teammates if he so chooses. Although, to be honest, if they realise that Epsilon's in an eco, buying an AWP isn't very intelligent. Because if you get forced down from the likes of mid, or forced up banana, and that AWP gets killed, that suddenly transfers a lot of power across to the Ts. So yeah, I like the fact that he's gone for the M4 instead. This is the smart play. And plus as well, Epsilon have shown that they're quite a slow team. So in having the M4s, it allows you to get more crossfires down on sites. So again, having the assault rifle rather than the AWP for me is the correct play. Alrighty, we have the Umpors coming in. No Chaos Paladin, this is a best of 3. We have this best of 3, and then we have ESC versus Pitta after this. Molotov connecting. This is very much reminiscent from that pistol round that we saw, and it's another pistol round here from Epsilon, effectively just with all P250s rushing onto the site. They ate so much damage from that Molotov though, it's just a case of a couple taps should seal the deal. As Dead Fox comes in, spots a few players. The bomb was planted! So mission accomplished as far as the terrorists are concerned. I did not see them getting that plant down whatsoever. I thought it'd be shut out before they even got close to getting on the site. So in that sense, Epsilon can hold their heads high. They pretty much did what they set out to do in this round. Let's get the bomb planted. That builds up their economy now. They will have 5k across the board, which is AK-47s and full grenades. But of course, in these kind of situations, you start to look away from the economy of the players and more the currency at the top of your screen, which says it is 7-1 to Orgless. Getting bomb plants is all well and good, but eventually you have to start converting that. You have to start cashing in that economy to get the rounds. That's what counts here. Of course, it is a CT-sided map. There's still a good chance that Epsilon could bounce back, and after what we just saw on Train, you can never count them out. That's a pretty important entry. A Soccer runs past balcony. You can understand why he'd do that. There's so many areas to cordon off. That's maybe a call for the rest of his team to push through with him so he doesn't have to check every single corner there. They're a bit slow through on quad, and that pretty much cost him his life. I feel if he has a couple players through quad there, he can look straight to his right-hand side on balcony or focus into pit itself rather than looking towards quad or the site. But these are small things that definitely build up into much larger things. Flash, again, in pit. He's consistently been the player to play this. Dead Fox has his back. So 2-2 split. Again, Orgless aren't biting down too hard on this potential A play. Epsilon playing it so slowly. And Flash has just spotted ahead. He's going to convert the first frag into the kill. And the second as well. That flashbang wrecks them. And just as M1 comes out of pit, he drops to his death. He got destroyed in midair. Gravity did the rest. And now it's on that man Arky, who is a sick entry fragger, but there's just no chance there. There's absolutely no chance. Again, he dies before time. That was so awkward. M1 pretty much just channeled his inner Leroy Jenkins and then just face planted. You hate to see it, guys. You hate to see it. But therein lays the issue with playing it so slow, because you almost back yourself into a corner where you have to go for the rush. There's like 50 seconds there where they can try and probe and poke out the CT defense and figure out where it's weak and vulnerable. But they don't do it. They just rush in with like 10 seconds and just get destroyed. And that's all well and good doing it a couple times, but they've consistently done that on their T side. The only times they pushed aggressively is when they've had pistol upgrades. I don't know, I just feel like it could be getting a bit predictable for Orgless. They're kind of calling this perfectly. So this round again is just upgraded pistols, a couple of Deagles, Tech 9, nothing to really talk about, nothing to really analyse. They do have, I was going to say they have Sokka who's trying to push up the Archer's side, but he's been spotted and fragged, which makes this a very much bottleneck attack onto the B side. You have to go for the raw one-taps right now, and there's a good crossfire down Taboo and Dead Fox. We'll secure that one up nicely in a tight little ribbon. Epsilon back to the drawing board. I'm curious, guys, in chat, where do you feel these rounds are going to come from Epsilon? Is there something you've noticed that you'd like them to work on? I'm always curious to see what you guys have to say. Personally, I feel like a couple more aggressive pushes, maybe some fakes as well. Try and draw out Orgless as much as possible onto a site and then attack the other one. It's not something I really did on Train or on Inferno. I've noticed Vac Kappa. Yeah, Leo Sky, I definitely agree with that. It definitely seems like a lack of cohesion when it comes to grenades while peeking. Definitely agree. And that's crucial in Inferno, of course. Yeah, next map is going to be Overpass, guys, if we need it. That, of course, needs... at least said Ogre. Ogreless. Yeah, we've got Shrek on the server, boys. Got 5 Shreks. Well, it seems like they are Shrekking Epsilon. It's all Ogre now, right? At least that's what I thought on Train. Overpass is the next map if we need it. If Orgless can convert this time. Epsilon rushing through. There's a lot of Molotov down there. Lots of damage is being inflicted. Again, look at the timer. It's so low. It just requires a couple of well-played shots, and that's all she wrote. Agnes gets the team kill. Brutal passage of play for Epsilon. And they're shooting each other again on the site. What is going on? Settle down, boys. You've got the site. You've got the plant. But here comes Maeve into the site and gets the drop on Don Q. Second play on the crosshairs. It's going to be M1 and he falls down as well. Beautiful, almost flawless retake from Orgless once more. CSGO 1. Looking good here. Yeah, jinxed. GG Epsilon. I wish I had that kind of power, I really do. I'm totally not going to win the lottery this weekend. So an AWP is in play for Epsilon. I believe this is the first time that we've seen an AWP in play for them on an Inferno T side. Mixing it up, trying something different. I definitely can't fault to that. The executions, the slow rounds definitely have been paying off for them. So if plan A is not working, maybe revert back to plan B. Issue is, though, that again, picking up the AWP kind of suggests quite slow play, and I just think the Orgless are going to take this every day of the week. They're happy with these slow rounds. You can see that they're very disciplined, patient bunch of players. They don't go for the rotations too fast. What's up, man on the moon? They don't go too fast. They're not going to over-rotate in the blink of an eye. So these slow rounds, they're not giving up anything. I completely agree with you, Wild Bill. Completely agree. Slow play's not working. Some of that, I think, is down to execution on grenades. Some of it's just down to a stylistic clash, honestly. I think that's something that gets overlooked a lot, that some teams are just happier in these slow kind of rounds. Look at Na'Vi, for example. Epsilon don't seem to have quite sussed this one out just yet. Taboo, how is he still alive? He chunked through all of his bullets in the A1S. It's like, what's up? I'm going to switch to my USP. Just hold there for a second. Let me take a picture. Epsilon, good guys Epsilon, always happy to take photos with their fans, I guess. And that AWP had 0 impact in that round. 0. Who am I talking to? You guys. I said this earlier, some of you may not have been here for the entire time, but I'm solo casting this evening, so you're effectively going to be my co-casters. If you're up to the task, of course. First frag goes down. Very aggressive push for the soccer, so I guess maybe they're starting to try and get some aggression. Maybe it's too little too late, though. Good frag, and when you got such good entry fraggers like Alex and Arky, I really feel you have to unleash them. But one problem is, bottlenecking yourself through balcony definitely can backfire, but somehow, again they get the frags, and although Arky did do significant damage to Maeve in Library, he does get the shot through the smoke of the box onto Don Q, who was low beforehand, 12-1. You get paid in hugs, hope it burns. I hope that's good enough for you. And hope it stops burning. It sounds kind of... In fact, do I really want to hug someone that's burning? Probably not. I take it back. You're not going to get paid in hugs. You're going to do it for free. Vac day. Well, with such low time, you're expecting to have him tap that. Also, he was quite tap that. Nice use of English. I'm not expecting that to pop up in with kappas behind it. You're expecting him to tap across because he was nearly out of ammunition anyway, so it's almost worthwhile just tapping and then reloading afterwards rather than just reloading raw, if that makes sense. I explained that terribly. You're welcome. Arky coming through. This is much better for Epsilon. Even though it doesn't work, I like to see this. 2 huge entry frags, looking for a third as well. They're shifting through the gears, finally. Again though, why at round 14? Why not around 10? Why not around 9? Something like that, but you've got a chance to bounce this back. Bomb has gone down. Taboo peeking through. He gets spotted and will be fragged any second now. Much better round for Epsilon. They are going to double their round tally. As sad as that statistic is. Right here. They move themselves to 2. Netvac. Caster, your name. Tell us. Oh, my name's Vince, but I assume you mean what's my gaming alias. Metus. M-E-T-U-Z. You can call me Vince. I thought about actually changing my name to Vince. It's a long story, so I won't bother you with the details. Maybe another time. Molotov up into apps. That suggests to me they're going to boost into hay bales, potentially. The idea behind that Molotov is that you want to make sure that no one pushes through onto balcony and shoots you in the side, so it suggests that they are going to focus their attention into a pretty vulnerable position. Problem with Molotovs, don't last that long. So that's 2 Molotovs they use to just push into the apps area that have been all for naught. So it's kind of a strange committal to me. I feel like those Molotovs have been much better suited landing in the likes of Pit. Or maybe even Arches. Maybe in the cheeky alcove spot on Arches. But of course, hindsight's always 20/20. I can see the bigger picture. For all they knew, there was a player in there and he died off the Molotovs. Going back into a more slow, steady round. But you can see the instant retaliation, the instant reaction from Orgless from that previous round is to stack 4 players now on the A side. There's Maeve again through smoke. Hello. Gaben, sort this guy out. I'm joking. Please take the joke. And this leaves Taboo on the site by himself. It's typically Dead Fox who's there with him. But Maeve doesn't need any help. He's good to just go. Unleash him. Taboo back his sight's been spotted. That Molotov's going to land by his feet. Smoke's going to cordon off CT aggression as well. So this is going to buy up time for the terrorists to get that bomb planted, which they're about to do. Flashbang in, lands perfectly. Maeve is going to get fragged. But Nate, in the meanwhile, comes on through as well. It's a 3-on-2 retake scenario. We've seen these come good for Orgless before. And 3 rounds for Epsilon is beckoning. Good frag, but it's a trade out in the CT's favour, and Nate lands the headshot onto Don Q. The bomb will be defused 13-2. Now, typically, if I'm casting this, and I see 13-2 scoreline, I'm like, yeah, this is ironclad. This is definitely going the way of Orgless. After train, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Now, you'd strongly fancy that a 13-2 scoreline should be enough, but you never quite know. That being said, message from the sponsors. Very short video. Said it was short, boys. We're right back into the action here on the second half between Orgless and Epsilon. 13-2, the halftime scoreline should be good for Orgless. But Are they going to have that doubt in the back of their mind? This is definitely more one-sided than the previous half. What a headshot that is from Arky. Pushing down, there was a boost over the smoke. A good start for the CT. Soccer is low, though. Down to 4. Push through onto Archer's side. Flash checking the alcove. Grenade lands, but so does the headshot. And the T's now will be going straight through onto the A side. There is a defuse kit in the hands of Epsilon. They do manage to bring this back to a 2-on-4. But the frag's coming back again. And Orgless somehow, out of the fire, have brought this back into a 2-on-2 scenario. With the bomb planted, the defuse kit has been dropped as well. I'm not entirely sure where it was dropped. If it's salvageable right now for Epsilon. But what I do know is it's gone from a pretty clear-cut round in the hands of Epsilon to suddenly a coin flip. And take that coin flip and just throw it away. This should be going the way of Orgless. What a headshot that is from Taboo. The 4-on-2 clutch is real with a bomb plant. Epsilon. And I'll tell you what. I had one of the best comebacks I've ever casted on Train. If they come back from this position, that will be the best comeback I've ever witnessed. I'm just saying. The best. You guys are ridiculous in chat. Well, I mean, it would be a pretty trashy cheat if you shot your own teammates, right? That's an interesting point. I didn't quite catch your name. I'm sorry, dude. Because the chat's moving so fast. But saying that maybe Epsilon is starting to focus towards Overpass instead. Like they've already tuned out of this map. I can definitely see where you're coming from. It does typically happen, you know. You want my baby? Hope it burns. Have they fixed it so 2 men can conceive? Because I feel like it's kind of impossible, you know. I know I sound like a girl, apparently, but I'm not. I'm sorry to spoil that. I've got a beard and everything. I'll be a very unattractive woman. Endgamer. I believe that myself and Vendetta are going to be taking you through the entire season of Counterpit here on the English stream. So you're going to be hearing a lot more of me in the future. I know it's going to disappoint some of you, but hopefully some of you are cool with that. Flashbang over. It's going to force the CTs to relocate. P90. The Pro 90. The weapon you hate to hear in matchmaking. That is a beautiful skin, though. 10 out of 10 with flashbang. You see what I did there? No, bad joke. Dad joke? Okay. Pretty much was. I am at this, yes. The reason I'm kind of waffling on about random stuff is you can see this is such a slow round from both teams. No one wanting to budge an inch. No one wanting to give anything to the other team. Epsilon do have 2 deagles in hand, though. We've already seen the Arkies landed so many one-taps already in this game. So you can't count them out just yet. Bomb dropped. Let's see. All the way back in Banana. Like, deep in Banana. That grenade does significant damage to 3 players. And I think he also got a dink as well. So Dead Fox is down to 3 HP. A gust of wind would take him down at this point. That seems smooth sailing for now, as he is able to keep on going forward. Arky goes for the tap. He has done damage as well. So a bunch of players on the side of Orgless are pretty low. The other 5-7 is really useful at close range. Donkey lands 1, can't connect the second shot. 4 on 3. Camera, please. Sort yourself out. Sort your life out. Nightmare. There's bomb planted. Epsilon just want to save. They realise that they can't do much in this retake. They've got no defuse kits, no flashes, nothing. And keeping these pistols through to the next round gives them a fighting chance. Sure, it's still going to be 15-2 deficit. Sure, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for them to come back from. But as the guy said in chat, which I completely agree with, I think that honestly Epsilon have already checked out of this map. They're just looking to keep their form. Maybe land a couple of sexy one-taps, get pumped again. Get inspired, and then move on to Overpass. And just go ham. This is Orgless' pick. Yes, it is the Dark. Absolutely. First map was Train. Went into overtime. Finished 19-17, if memory serves me correctly, to Epsilon after a ridiculous comeback of epic proportions. If you missed that, you owe yourself to watch the VOD at some point. I'm not even joking. It was a fantastic map of CS. Oh my goodness, that scout hit 2 people while flashbanged. Soccer's close range, lands a 3rd shot. He's tagged 3 players with that scout, all who are going to be super low. Alex with 3, looking for a 4th. So close yet so far. Dead Fox is still there though. Oh. Interesting. Lag into death. And apparently that's the round over. Epsilon are going to take the round. Go TV. Just shut the bed. I'm going to throw it out there. It just shut the bed. It looked a bit weird when I came back into the game and saw a player go sky high. Apparently there's a trampoline on Inferno now. Good to know. Good to know. That's a vac right there. He's got a jump pack. Am I observing and casting? Yes. I'm streaming, observing, casting. One-man show right now. So, Orgless have picked up the first frag. Just 4 more to go. They had a real issue with closing out Train. But you've got to expect they're going to pick up at least one of the next 12. Surely. Surely we're not going to have a repeat performance here. Arky chases down the frag as we switch into 3rd person for some unknown reason that only GoTV knows, I suppose. It's all going to be in that man Alex. Can he pull off some craziness? No, he can't. And on Don Q in another 1 versus X. He hasn't managed to pick up any of these today. That's really not bad-mouthing him, though. All these clutches have been horrendous for him. He does get the first frag, but it's not clean. He's down to 4. 1 bullet will end his life and end the map. Orgless do finally secure themselves a map. A bit of a, I want to say, anticlimactic end to that one after the Train map that we just witnessed. But that does mean that we are going to go for a 1-1 scoreline here. It's all tied up. It's all going to come down to overpass. Hope you guys have been enjoying. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. Look at these sponsors, the awesome people that make this tournament possible. And Soccer with a 3 for 18 bomb. That just happened. He did get 7 assists though, so we'll let him off. Team player. Catch you in a few moments, guys.
G2A.com, the best video game store ever! Fast as lightning, solid as a rock, cheap as duck! What's more, you can sell on it because it's also a marketplace. Remember G2A.com, the best video game store ever!
Alright, ladies and gents, how you doing? Metis back here. Just waiting for the third map. Let me have a quick gander, a quick check, cheeky check, how many players are on this server, so I can give you an idea of the ETA before we get this live underway for Overpass, our third map here. It appears that GoTV still hasn't caught up just yet, which probably suggests it's going to be a few more minutes. So I'm going to put some music on. I'm going to get myself a drink. I'd suggest you guys do the same. And you can rejoin me here for in a few minutes' time between Epsilon and also Orgless. Probably a good thing that it hasn't started yet because my game just crashed again. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let me just fix that before I jump away. Put some music on. I want to hear you talk. Dude, there'll be plenty of time to hear me talk tonight because we have another best of 3 after this. So I need to save my voice to make sure I don't lose it like a scrub, which is possible. Read your own chat, please. What? Why you no-go toilet caster? I'm literally just about to. Too much information maybe, but you asked so I delivered. You can see there as well the awesome bracket that we have. We have action coming up over the next 2 days, I believe. So plenty more action here, and then we get into the meat and potatoes, as it were, of the counterpit season. So you don't want to miss any of it, guys. Please tell me your nickname, Metis. I'll type in chat as well for you. Hey, what's up? There you go. Boom, done. Be right back, guys.